As China's first-generation catapult-type shipboard fighter, J-35 has been attracting attention, both at home and abroad since its debut, which not only creates zero breakthroughs in China's domestic shipboard fighter in terms of catapult, stealth, etc., but also enables China to step into the sequence of the world's advanced shipboard fighter research and development countries, which is of milestone significance. Although J-35 is still in the verification test flight stage, from the equipment to finalize the road to go, but it's every step of the development of the military fans involved in the heart. Recently, a clearer photo of the J-35 has been exposed on social media platforms. Unlike the first flight photo circulated on the internet, this photo was taken from the rear static viewpoint, and the J-35 also opened the cockpit cover, which can be said to be full of information. In the earliest time when J-35 is still FC-31, its cockpit cover uses the traditional two-stage structure design. The way to open is the support point in the back, upward flip to open, although this design is low cost and lighter in weight, but invariably the pilot's field of vision has brought about an impact. J-35 is not the kind of cost-effective fighter. From this photo we can confirm that J-35 has adopted the design of one-piece windshield, and its cockpit cover opens, closes in a similar way to the US F-35 fighters, i.e., the support point is in the front, and it flips upward, downward. This one-piece cockpit cover has a better stealth effect, and a wider field of view, and with the helmet targeting system, it can quickly unlock the launch on target air combat capability. In addition, the support point of the cockpit cover is moved from the rear to the front, probably for the consideration of operational range. In order to increase the range of the J-35, in the case of the aircraft's size is not big, can only lift the height of the cockpit, to facilitate the cockpit behind the design of a larger internal space of the bulge, and then in the bulge placed in the fuel storage capacity of the main tank to enhance the range of combat. Of course, such a bulge also has the effect of slowing down the expansion wave intensity and transonic drag. We all know that the J-35 has redesigned its aerodynamic shape and fuselage structure to meet shipboard requirements, and such a big change means that the aircraft has been replaced with a more powerful aircraft engine. From the photo, we can see that the J-35 is equipped with two engines with sawtooth stealth nozzle design on the tail, while the Russian RD-93 turbofan engine was installed during the FC-31 period. This significant change is enough to prove that the J-35 has adopted two domestic engines at the time of its maiden flight, knowing that when the J-20 made its maiden flight, it still used a Russian engine in consideration of safety and progress. This also shows that China's domestic engine development technology is becoming more and more mature, and the performance is more and more reliable. J-35 may use a new generation of domestic turbofan 19 advanced medium thrust engine. Turbofan 19 engine as early as 19 years, when the ground bench test, if it is in 2021, only began in the J-35 loaded test flight, basically in line with the flow of time. New machine with new aircraft is not without precedent, like the F-35, just started test flights, equipped with the F-135 engine, this way not only in the test flight stage in advance to grind the match rate between the aircraft and the aircraft, but also for the subsequent rapid formation of combat aircraft to lay the foundation for combat effectiveness. Compared to the previous highly efficient lot, according to the FC-31 data disclosed at the airshow deduction, if J-35, equipped with turbofan 19 advanced aircraft engine, its accelerated thrust up to 20 tons or so, this value in the US F-35C shipborne fighters basically the same as drums and drums. However, it has not yet been confirmed that the turbofan 19 has the same sawtooth stealth nozzle as the turbofan 10B. So does the turbofan 19 have the capability of vectoring? If so, it will greatly enhance the J-35's air maneuverability. Comparing with the first flight photos, the outline of EOTS below the nose of J-35 is obviously much clearer. EOTS is a high-performance, lightweight and multifunctional system, which can provide pilots with high-resolution imaging, auto-tracking, laser dot tracking, laser indication and ranging, and is the core component related to the air-to-air, air-to-ground combat capability of the fighter aircraft. Surrounded by a durable sapphire window cover, the system is connected to the aircraft's integrated central computer via a high-speed fiber optic interface. Currently, only China's J-20 and the US F-35 are equipped with this system among the world's active warplanes. The debate about whether the J-35 has a fighting capsule on both sides of the air intake can finally be ended. Although it belongs to the same twin-engine fighter as J-20, J-35 doesn't have enough space for designing the fighting nacelles due to the limitation of the fuselage length. The Thunderbolt 10E fighting missiles are about 3 meters long, while the fuselage length of J-35 is only 17 meters, which means that the J-35 will undertake the mid-range and long-range over-the-horizon defense and offensive tasks after entering into the service. There is no close-range fighting missiles. Good thing that China has a longer range, faster Peak 15 long-range air-to-air missiles, which carries a double-pulse solid rocket launcher with an effective range of 200-300 kilometers and the fastest speed of up to Mach 4. It adopts a composite guidance mode and two-way data chain correction, and it has the capability of a shoot-to precision strike capability. Comprehensive performance far beyond the United States AIM-120D air-to-air missile. In the future, under the guidance of the Seaplate, Air Marshal 600 shipborne early warning aircraft Parak-15 will play a greater role in the effectiveness. Zhao Zia, Shenfei's chief designer of the model, hinted in an interview that the J-35 will develop 4 models to meet different mission requirements, although it did not disclose more specific information. But we might as well venture a guess. In addition to the Navy's shipborne model will also have what model? Air Force. The official media once disclosed that the Air Force, Project Number 21, according to the usual practice, there will be a new model of J-21, so there are a lot of observers speculate that J-21 will be based on the development of FC-31 Air Force, which logically does make sense. This does make sense logically. At this time, some people have to question, FC-31 Air Force type and J-20 is the same as the Air Combat 4th generation aircraft, but one is heavy and one is medium. Not only the task overlap cannot form complementary, is not a little redundant. In fact, this is the same as the US military's F-22, F-35, taking into account the cost of the problem. If the FC-31 Air Force type and the procurement and logistical support expenses can be reduced to an acceptable range, but also to maintain the relatively excellent performance, then with the J-20 to protect the quality and performance, with the FC-31 Air Force type to protect the number, to protect the scale of the strategy can be said to be quite feasible. The J-35 two-seater and J-20S broke the convention of no two-seater in the 4th generation. Similarly, if J-35 also derived from the two-seat version, then you can take full advantage of the combat system to the wingman to convey the early warning aircraft instructions or to guide the shipborne drones to carry out anti-ship, air-ground, air-air operations, to assume the task of frontline command. Needless to say, the FC-31 twin-engine arrangement has a slight advantage, and thus less impact on occupying residual engine power than the F-35, so the potential feasibility of converting to a two-seat version is still very high. The export-oriented 4th generation aircraft is the future development trend of mainstream fighter aircraft. However, the world can independently develop the 4th generation aircraft of the country, but only a few countries. As the forerunner of the 4th generation fighter, the US F-35 has entered the international arms market early with its excellent performance, occupying a favorable advantage, but the price of F-35 is close to $200 million for a single aircraft, which is not affordable for anyone. This is why Russia in the Su-57 has just entered the mass production stage on the rush to launch Su-75 medium-sized stealth fighters. The purpose is to seize a share of the market FC-31, although to face an F-35 and Su-75 at the same time to compete in the situation. But FC the 31st of may not necessarily be squeezed out of the one. On the contrary, FC-31 and the cost-effective advantage of a greater. This year, Shenfei in the official platform on the release of such a message. Deputy General Manager John Chiang, in order to implement the one type of equipment to serve two markets, the joint venues, set up a Migratory Eagle project office, cultivate the target customers for the Xinjiang region. The promotion of the military trade business took a solid step forward. Obviously, Shenfei has done a good job of exporting FC-31 fighter, has entered the stage of cultivating customers. Finally, back to the J-35 shipboard fighter itself. With the accelerated progress of the new aircraft carrier project, the next J-35 will also face more demanding tests and inspections.